summer clearance event today.
Help us fight for life and train the CSRA. Contact the American Heart Association for details.
You want local news that impacts you?
We've got you covered.
We're on your side.
On your side. This is News 12, first at 5.
Roofs torn away, road signs folded in half, and power completely knocked out. Just some of the intense sights of Hurricane Laura ripping through the Gulf Coast. Laura, the strongest hurricane in August since Katrina, which was a Category 3 hurricane.
And Laura made landfall as a Category 4, and it caused major destruction. Watch this as entire pieces of a roof come falling down off a building in Lake Charles, Louisiana.
It was a foam roof, the top blown away, and then all the foam from underneath it starts flying in the air. That's what you're seeing in the video right there.
And the storm left behind a lot of water, too. Check out this drone video of lakefront homes on Lake Charles, some of them now halfway underwater.
Just a devastating scene there, and all around you can see some heavy damage that the homes have taken. Trees down all around the area. Laura has now weakened to a tropical storm, and as you saw, it left a wide path of destruction.
Thousands are without power, and the storm is blamed for at least 4 deaths. Courtney Zubowski shows us the damage from Galveston, Texas.
Hurricane Laura ripped apart homes, uprooted trees, and flooded neighborhoods as it cut its path of destruction through southwest Louisiana.
This was the most powerful storm to ever make landfall in Louisiana. We have sustained a tremendous amount of damage. We have thousands and thousands of our fellow citizens whose lives are upside down.
Time to take cover, time to take cover.
Laura packed 150-mile-an-hour winds as it roared ashore in Cameron, Louisiana, near the Texas border. Jeannie Adair wrote out the storm in Lake Charles.
They say this is going to be the storm of a lifetime, and I can see that it's probably, that's an accurate statement for sure.
A chemical plant fire near Lake Charles is forcing people to shelter in place as a thick cloud of black smoke blankets the area. While Louisiana took the brunt of the storm, there's also damage across eastern Texas.
We dodged a bullet. It could have been far worse.
Early reports indicate the storm surge forecasters predicted was not as bad as feared.
We would not be gathering here right now had we seen a 10-foot or higher foot storm surge.
Thousands are without electricity, and it could take days before it's restored. Teams are out here in Texas and across Louisiana assessing the extent of the damage.
This is probably not the last warning shot of this season. Hopefully it is, but it goes through November.
Officials warn residents they shouldn't let their guard down. The hurricane season is far from over.
And we want you to check out this time-lapse video. Lightning striking from inside Hurricane Laura. This is when the storm was out over the Gulf waters before it even made landfall. But Riley, this electrical aspect of the storm, just an incredible sight.
It's incredible to see, Richard, these type of sites coming from these satellites that are over 22,000 miles away. Absolutely incredible what humans have created, been able to analyze these storms nowadays. And this storm is now a tropical storm moving through Arkansas. Little Rock is getting hammered right now with that heavy rain threat on the northern end of what's left of that eye wall. Still some flash flood warnings in there south of Little Rock, and a tornado warning just on the east side of town as well. So that's another factor with this system, is the severe weather aspect. As Laura continues to track towards the north and to the east the next couple of days, could actually bring us some breezy conditions throughout the day on Saturday. But just look at all these damage reports stretching all the way from the southwest Louisiana coastline down into Arkansas. Even these outer rain bands creating thunderstorm wind damage with some stronger thunderstorms in those. Luckily, all that is well west of us. We are not tracking any showers or storms across the CSRA. So any plans you have this evening, looking good to go. It is pretty hot and humid, though, so we're likely going to feel like at least 90 till around sunset. Have a look at storm chances for the rest of the week and a look at Saturday's windy forecast coming up.
New at 5, a heads up for the horse community. There have been 11 cases of triple E in horses across South Carolina, including this area. Cases of eastern equine encephalitis have been seen now in 8 counties, including Aiken County. Mosquitoes carry it, and the symptoms include horses stumbling, paralysis, pressing their heads against the wall. It is deadly in 90% of these cases. Humans can also get triple E. There's a vaccine for horses, but not one for humans.
A charter school in Aiken County is closed because of a COVID outbreak. School officials say Horse Creek Academy is closed today and tomorrow. That's after reports of students and staff showing symptoms of COVID-19. The school says the building will be disinfected. They plan to have children back in the building for classes on Monday.
Most students in Aiken County have their first day of classes on Monday, and students who did not elect to do all virtual learning start the year on a hybrid schedule.
The hope is they'll transition to all in-person learning during the year, but a committee will decide when. Kennedy Harris asked them how they'll make that decision.
School districts have worked to create back-to-school safety plans, and now the time is here. But with so much uncertainty, many people are wondering who will decide to keep schools open or close their doors.
But as school starts, that's going to become very much important to get that current data and see what's going on out there.
Aiken County students will head back to school on Monday, and a newly formed back-to-school committee of 13 will be looking out for them.
The purpose is to make a recommendation to the superintendent on our operations. And so some of the typical recommendations we can make is maintain current operations, which whatever we're in, whatever current state we're in. We can recommend more restrictive operations.
They will monitor data from the state, the county, and the American Association of Pediatrics to make decisions.
That data is important because it specifically focuses on children, and that tells us how much this is impacting children, and it talks about hospitalization rates and mortality rates and infection rates among children.
But they won't just judge by case numbers.
The latest trend in state data has shown fewer cases, but the positivity rate isn't changing quite as fast. So instead of saying a certain number of cases, we want to look at the positivity rate, the trend, how are things going over time.
So at what point could Aiken County return to full traditional instruction?
What we kind of want to see is that all of those are trending low. And so if we're low, we know we're moving in the right direction, and it's okay to start maybe considering the plans to reopen.
Of course, the decision won't be easy.
Everybody's a little nervous about going back to school, lots of different opinions on it, and we want to do the best we can to do it in the safest way possible.
And the committee will meet weekly throughout the school year to monitor and make decisions as the virus continues to take its toll. In Aiken, Kennedy Harris, on your side.
Parents in Columbia County, the school district is working to roll out a new app so you can track your child's school bus. It's called EduLog Lite. You can see real-time information about your child's bus and get notifications when it's almost home. You can download it from the Apple or Google store. You'll need a registration code from your school, so be sure to check your email.
And Richmond County parents, tomorrow is the last day you can sign your kids up for pre-K or kindergarten. The district is encouraging parents to register online and submit those documents by 1 in the afternoon. Officials say if all the slots are filled up, names will go on a waiting list. And to all elementary school parents, if you requested a device for virtual learning, tomorrow is your last day to pick that up. Those details are available for you right now on the website. New today, we're learning a candidate for the Richmond County School Board has died. Dr. Christy Cunningham died on Tuesday. Funeral arrangements have not been set yet. She was a candidate for the District 1 School Board seat. There are 2 other candidates on the November ballot for that seat.
Daily cases continuing to decrease, less than 500 new cases in South Carolina with 18 more deaths. In Georgia, 2,200 new cases with more than 100 deaths.
At our local hospitals this afternoon, 139 new cases at AU Health with 71 people being treated there. Just 5 new cases at University Hospital. They have 60 COVID patients.
Just 2 new cases today between Doctors Hospital and Charlie Norwood. 17 people in the hospital at Doctors. Aiken Regional sitting at 621 cases with 28 people in the hospital.
Remember this? The man convicted of setting this massive fire at Twin Peaks restaurant in Augusta is asking for a new trial. Roland Croyle was sentenced to 140 years in prison after being found guilty for driving his truck into the Twin Peaks front door and lighting the restaurant on fire. It happened back in June of 2017. Twin Peaks has since rebuilt and reopened.
Facebook is rolling out new features, and not everyone is jumping on board with the changes, but we'll tell you why the social network is forcing people to use it.
We are still tracking Tropical Storm Laura, and it could potentially bring us some breezy conditions on Saturday. Take a look at that forecast for you. Coming up.
All night.
Trees toppled, power lines down. That's just some of what people along the Gulf Coast are experiencing right now. This video is from Sulphur, Louisiana, just west of Lake Charles. Hurricane Laura reaching a Category 4 and weakening over land, but still threatening people with high winds and torrential rain. Riley, just devastating video here.
Really is an absolutely historic storm, and Laura will likely never be, or will never use the name Laura ever again after this, just considering the impact it has had. Here's the latest update that just came in around 5 p.m. It is still a tropical storm. They did downgrade the winds again. Now max sustained winds near 50 miles per hour. They're seeing some gusts a little bit stronger than that, but this turn towards the northeast, that's what's expected over the next couple of days, and still a fairly quick pace, moving at around 15 miles per hour. You can see we don't have a real defined eye like we had at landfall late last night into early this morning, so the storm is weakening now that it is over land, and expected to likely become a depression tonight, and this is the eventual path of the center of that storm as it makes its way towards the mid-Atlantic coast on Saturday. Now, this storm is going to be moving north of us, but bringing a pretty big wind field with it, so we're actually expecting our sustained winds to pick up a good bit Saturday. Definitely a little bit breezier than what we're used to on an average summer day. Anywhere from around 15 to 20 mile per hour winds sustained look possible. This will likely be enough to maybe issue a lake wind advisory, but not really major impacts expected across the CSRA. So our sustained winds 15 to 20, gusts possibly 25, 30, maybe even a few spots see a little bit higher gusts than that. And then as far as storm chances go, on Saturday, Laura's going to be getting locked up into an upper level trough, a cold front, so there's going to be ingredients there for severe weather, and considering just the ample amount of moisture that Laura will have with it. So there is going to be the opportunity for a few isolated severe thunderstorms on Saturday, mainly for the afternoon and evening hours when we add a little bit better heating throughout the day, mainly for the threat of those strong wind gusts. But where you see that slight risk, that yellow area in the North Carolina and Virginia, there are going to have the threat for a few tornadoes out there. Any lake plans? Remember, Saturday it's going to be windy, likely going to see a few storms as well, so not going to be the best lake day on Saturday. Sunday looking a little bit better, not expecting an all-day rain, but there will be the potential for a few showers and storms. High temperatures look to be a little bit warmer as well. But how about this, folks? Looking out at Aiken County with blue skies on an August afternoon. That is a rare sight, so enjoy it while it lasts. We are expecting dry conditions this evening and tonight, but over the next couple of days, those storm chances going to be going back up for us. High temperature-wise, generally near 90. Next 7 days, not really a huge fluctuation in our temperatures. Next week, expect more of the same, heat, humidity, and storms.
It's been a long time. Those blue skies are a welcome sight, Riley. Thank you. Well, if you've opened your Facebook profile in the last couple of days, maybe you've noticed everything looks different. Uh-oh, change is not good, right? The social network is changing everything, and a lot of people are not happy about this.
Jamie Tucker takes a closer look at what's changing and why Facebook is forcing everyone to use it.
Some people do not like change, especially when it comes to Facebook. This is the Facebook we've been using for the last 5 or 6 years. Now, everyone's going to be switching over to what Facebook is calling the new Facebook. This is the old Facebook. On the left is a link to the news feed, Messenger, Watch, Marketplace, followed by shortcuts to groups you joined. But the new Facebook is totally different. There is no link to the news feed. Voting information, pages, events, and groups are near the top. Facebook's reasoning is that most people use Facebook to be in contact with friends and people with similar interests. If you tap See More, it calls up things you probably didn't know existed. Fundraisers, jobs, Lift Black Voices, Facebook Pay, which is like Venmo, and Oculus, which is Facebook's virtual reality products. In the center are larger photos for stories and a much cleaner, more white space news feed. If you're a fan of dark mode, you can turn that on the right side under settings. I was seeing a new look on Facebook's mobile app that had this large Facebook icon at the bottom of the screen, but an update over the weekend reverted everything back to the old look. I reached out to Facebook for an explanation, have not gotten a response. But this is the biggest overhaul change we've seen in many years with Facebook, and it's coming to everyone's account very soon. Whether you like it or not, you will not be able to switch back. That's What the Tech. I'm Jamie Tucker.
Right. Facebook revealed these changes last year, but they started rolling out the new look gradually in March. Mine flipped over a couple of months ago. It'll become standard for all Facebook users next month. But yeah, it takes a little getting used to, Zeta.
I think people don't like change, but they also just like simple. And now there's just a million things going on now on Facebook.
Keep it simple, keep it clean. And then update my phone too if you're going to update it. I'm watching my phone like Jamie's watching his. Okay, Georgia inmates at it again, saving the life of a deputy, and their heroic actions were caught on camera.
We have 10 employees. They have 10.
Quick.
Another deputy in Gwinnett County can thank his inmates for likely saving his life.
And just last month, another deputy was saved by inmates at the same jail. Adam Murphy shows us how the good deed was caught on camera.
I could see in his eyes, he was staring off into space. He wasn't right.
John Queen and his fellow Gwinnett County inmates took decisive action inside their cell block last week when they noticed something was terribly wrong.
So somebody hollered, grab a chair, and I grabbed a chair, slid it up behind him, and a couple of these other ones, this one here, that kind of eased him down in the chair.
Several inmates looked out for the man who looks out for them. They called for help when Deputy Patrick Edmond nearly collapsed during a routine cell check.
Deputy Edmond was not aware he was suffering a stroke at that time, but it was very clear to the inmates he was, and they jumped into action and got on his radio and called for help. Another inmate went to the phone to call for help, and their intervention very likely saved Deputy Edmond's life.
Edmond underwent life-saving surgery after passing a blood clot in his brain. He's now recovering at home, and his inmates are eagerly waiting his return.
He's a real stand-up dude. Like most officers we get, they try, some come, they don't care, they really don't care, and make our time hard. With him, I can definitely say he gives respect.
It's very apparent to me in speaking with these inmates, they really genuinely care about Deputy Edmond, and that really speaks to his management style and how he speaks to the inmates and how he takes the time to encourage them.
Nice to see that there. The sheriff's office says that as a special thank you, the inmates were allowed to watch movies for the entire week.
That's fair enough, right? I'm glad to hear Deputy Edmonds doing better, but it says a lot about those inmates and that deputy that it all worked out the way it did. Riley?
Well, we've seen a lot of rain over the past few weeks, and luckily it has eliminated all our abnormally dry conditions in the southern CSRA, and we're enjoying some nice weather this evening, so step outside. We are expecting dry conditions. One last look at that 7-day forecast coming up.
Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays at 8/7 Central on CBS.
Here's a look at your community calendar. The Fine Arts and Crafts Market digital shopping experience is going on right now. The Greater Augusta Arts Council is allowing this to, is featuring art from more than 60 artists online. People are able to go to the Arts in the Heart website to shop. And Hawk Law Group is also sponsoring the Fit for School event. That's happening Saturday from 10 to 1 at the Augusta South YMCA. School supplies, free haircuts, and goodie bags will be handed out there, and watch out for some windy conditions out there on Saturday. We are expecting dry conditions this evening and tonight, so if you have any plans to step out this evening, not looking too bad, just pretty humid out there. Early tomorrow morning, we're expecting to be dry, temps generally in the mid-70s. Later into the afternoon, we'll likely be tracking a few isolated downpours, but it doesn't look like a huge washout for us. Our high temperatures are expected to be just as hot as today, and it's going to stay pretty sticky out there as well. Heading into Saturday, that's when we're going to start noticing a little bit different outside. That's when it's going to start getting a little bit breezy for us. Sustained winds 15 to 20 miles per hour. We're expecting the chance for some thunderstorms as well. Some of those could be on the stronger side, but right now just a marginal risk on Saturday.
Thanks, Riley. The news continues here on News 12. We'll be back in 3 minutes.
If you